Hey everyone, welcome to episode 5 of the LOWBAT Podcast. This week, we sat down with our special guests Ben Egan and EJ Bowman of Ben & Friends. Ben & Friends is a live, self-proclaimed musical circus started by Ben, where he recruits an enormous ensemble of local musicians to perform improvised music in venues around the 757. We talk about the formation of Ben & Friends, our craziest show experiences, and Ben's recent tragic snowboarding accident. Make sure you're subscribed to the podcast on your preferred platform so you're notified when new episodes drop, and we hope you enjoy our conversation with Ben and EJ.
You are now listening to the LOWBAT Podcast,
a weekly show highlighting members of our local creative community and featuring topical conversations with members of the LOWBAT production team. We're your hosts, Casey House
and Fabian Castaneda. Through our own experiences as musicians, visual artists, and business owners, we saw an opportunity to provide a platform for people just like us to deep dive into what it's like to pursue a lifestyle outside of the norm.
Without further ado, welcome to the LOWBAT Podcast.
Hello. Welcome, everybody, to the LOWBAT Podcast. Episode, 5 at this point, I think?
Yes.
Something like that, episode 5. Today, we have some very, very special guests. We have Ben Egan and we have EJ Bowman.
Hello.
Both from Ben & Friends, Ben being Ben, EJ being one of the many friends. So, I do want to say, before we even get started, I was trying to figure out, before we started this, like, all right, how am I going to describe Ben & Friends? Because it's a lot. It's a concept. Yeah. And I have actually seen you guys before, too. I got to see you guys once.
And we actually briefly brushed over you guys in a previous episode with Panda and Quan. If you haven't seen that episode, please check it out.
We did talk about Ben & Friends there, too.
So some of our listeners might have an idea, but like, what do you think Ben & Friends is?
If you had to give somebody like a one-liner or like a description, how would you do it?
I know I didn't say this, but John Dorner, you may have his name come up in here sometimes. He was like a funky, fresh, genre-defying dance party, that's just energy going. That's how the energy part was me adding that in there, the energy going. But that's how I would describe it, because that's what it all is. Energy in the moment, from the crowd, from each other, feeding off each other, elevating what's happening in the moment.
Okay.
That's how, but that's a little longer than his definition.
So that's that definition, that explanation of almost like the entity of it, but like the actual behind like what it actually is. There's how many people are involved?
It would take me a second to count it out, but
do you hit 30?
I mean, it probably is. You know what I mean? If you're counting the people that have just sporadically that night jumped in for a rap or a sing, you know what I mean? Then definitely 30. But if you're talking about the regulars, I'd say more around like 10. But that's like regular, you know what I mean? But we branch out quite a bit.
The way that I would describe it as like, unfortunately only got to see you guys once because COVID hit and everything. But like, of course, it was a jam sesh, a live jam sesh with honestly some of the best musicians in the area. And it's such a cool thing to see, like either somebody's playing guitar or drums or somebody just like kind of starts. Yeah, it's just like somebody just like a beat gets laid down and then someone's like, dude, and then it just everybody builds, and the next thing you know, 15 minutes have passed of just y'all one just song. Ebb and flow up and down going. I was blown away, genuinely. I was really blown away by it.
It's like an eclectic crew of like a circus almost. Feel like it's like a buildup of different genres and different things meshing together for this one beautiful show. Like it's like, why do I like this? And then we switch to the DJ, and then and because it's all part of like the feng shui. So that's why Ben & Friends is like special in this area to me. So
I have never seen anything like it. Like I mean, I've seen people jam, I guess, or whatever, but I think it's partially because of the caliber of people that are on stage. Like you have such good, not only musicians, just people that can play, but people that can play off of each other. Yeah, I think that's why it works so well. Yeah, so like as far as you getting it started, how did you get involved, get wrapped up with Ben & Friends?
Oh, excuse me. Basically, I was part of the music scene with my previous band, and basically, we were kind of done, as a band together. So I still want to be a part of the scene because I don't want to do music by myself. So I was like, oh, I see what Ben & Friends was doing with Bennett Wells, at the Box and at Lunacy. And like they were just doing like, places where we could jam, essentially. Like some places don't want you to just go in there and just jam, because it's like that's not good for business on paper. But if you really look at it, you're like, oh, this is actually great. So when places do that, it allows things like Ben and Friends to flourish and come to life and actually bring an organic feel to what we need around this music scene. I feel like I feel like that's why I was like, hey, can I?
So you approached him?
Cool, yeah.
Yeah, I approached Ben, and I saw him DJing, and I was like, and he was like, yeah, dude, I know who you are. He's like, come on, it's like sing with us sometimes, and I was like, okay, cool, because I hear you and Bennett doing it, and that's cool, but I feel like if I would want to sing one song and then you guys jam, and then he was like, yeah, that's a good idea. So I appreciate his open-mindedness on this.
Right. So Ben, you said you have like 10 regulars or so.
Could be more.
I mean, and definitely there's going to be more. Like,
I'd have to have a pencil to really give you a number.
Yeah. How did you go about just collecting these people just to jam with you and make a relationship where you count on them to come back again?
Yeah. So I mean, right at the beginning, it all manifested itself. If you know Rhett Walton, he was my roommate and musician that we made music with. Since college. We went to college together, so we've been making music together forever. And me and him, I would DJ, and he would drum. First, it was just me DJing at the box regularly once a week, and I was like, let's bring the drums. And then we did that. And then we were seeing people like, BJ Griffin, let's say Gabe Niles, Bennett Wells.
Panda upon the drums.
A couple, before we even started that, just me and Rhett drumming. Those guys were coming in and just enjoying themselves. And I seen Bennett 2 or 3 weeks in a row. I'm talking to Rhett. I'm like, yo, that's Bennett Wells. I just seen him play at a festival with 40,000 people at it. Like that, you know what I'm saying? He's coming to our shit every week. And I was like, should I talk to him? Brett was like, yeah, talk to him. And Rhett, he plays in Buddha Council too. So he's good, obviously, So and he's known a little bit. But I went up to Bennett after our show. I'm like, man, you coming up in here every week? Are you Bennett Wells? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, well, god dang. I said, you ever just want to bring a guitar out here and jam along one time? That might be sick. And he was like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah, that shit would be awesome. So 1 week, the next week.
Never in a million years would I do that.
He brought his guitar out though. Yeah, next week. You know what I mean? We plugged it in.
It takes a certain person to lead, like something like Ben and Friends. I feel like
I got another story that's funny. That's
to be like, hey guys, hey guys, adults, hey guys, listen, hey, all right, let's play music. All right.
Yep.
Hey, are you coming tomorrow? You coming? He literally hits up. I feel like a pool of like 15, 20 people, and like, all right, because we need a good 8. Like a good 8 lineup. I always go to basketball and I go to Chicago Bulls. I'm like, all right, you got your Michael Jordan, Ben. And then
those are some big shoes to fill.
Scottie Pippens. It's just, not who, you don't, I just see it as like the business.
See, it's funny. Right. I see how you take on that too, because that was part of the process in my head. But with that Bennett coming the next week, we did it. And we're sitting there, we start jamming. And all of us can't stop looking at each other going, like it was so tight, the stuff we were doing. And it was like, we were just looking. He was looking at Rhett's like, yeah. Bennett's like, yeah. We're just like all like feeling it because it was like that. Mm-hmm. And then we were like, yo, let's, like he was like, let's do it. Because he was saying to me, I like this. It makes my chop better in Bennett Wells. It makes me better when I play with the band. So I love coming here. I'll play with you for a little bit. So we weren't making
after
much
he
money.
Would play a show.
Yeah, he would come right after. He'd go like, play and come get off at 12 and run over here and we'd start at 12:30.
The street, I'll come out
and we jam all night till
roll right around
till 2 or whatever. But and it was just going well. And then we did the DJ thing and I was learning how to, really get this cool technique about DJing with a band, and that's a whole separate thing. And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna bring my keyboard. And like I had never really played keys with the bands. I played a little bit, but I decided let's add a little keyboard and now's the time to really try it. And I just like kind of threw myself in and just started jamming. I knew I could, but I just hadn't done it in front of people and with the band like that much live improv. But then I started just slowly creeping the keys in and learning those, and then we were like, let's have a bassist now, because now. I don't even want to DJ anymore. Let's get the drummer, the bassist, and let's full jam. And then we just started doing, and it was just same kind of thing. We're all looking at each other. Now crowds are coming every week because they've picked up on this. It is excelling. Each week it's different. And then it just kept growing, totally by itself.
Yeah. I mean, there's something cool, obviously, about like, you know, going in here and like top 40 or whatever, like what's popular right now.
Sure.
That's cool. But going and like, especially from a musician standpoint, hearing that kind of musicianship just happen in front of you when it's just, and then you see everybody look, because like the looks are not hidden. You guys aren't hiding like the fact that when somebody does something, y'all are like, yo, like you look back at each other, like those are, you see that and it's like, you feel that energy of like, it's just happening live. It's like, it's infectious. I'm not even like I don't drink or like go like dance or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was just like, this is
cool to see.
You should.
It's so cool to see.
It took me a while to understand why people were liking it. Because I'm like, you know, I just expect nothing. I expect nobody to show
Right, you
up.
just threw it together
I expect
in a way,
friends
yeah.
to come here, but like it's just happening. So like, it took me a while to figure it out. Actually, it took me being my broken leg where I couldn't even really set up. I think that was it. And I was just running sound while they were jamming. I was like, whoa, this really
not
is
me.
good.
It didn't take me a while. I told you right away. I was like,
I know people tell me,
is
but
dope, man.
you know what I mean? Like,
and DJ Baby
I try
Brad,
to be like
Baby Brad, like he's crazy, but yo, this is dope. Like, you know, hey.
yeah, he's our opening DJ a lot. We have him regularly on almost every show. It's DJ Baby
From the
Brett.
start.
Yeah, and he always would just open for me and do his thing and help me out best he could in many ways. So he's cool, and he's really made his way as well. Now he's got DJ gigs and stuff.
Oh yeah, he'll let you know he'll let you know he's a DJ.
Sure will.
I'm a DJ.
And before I
DJ.
forget too, because I know I'm probably touching on a lot, but to address his point on the way, because when it developed, now we're out of the box getting shows like. We have to show up, and like I have to expect people. I have to expect people to show up, like you were saying. This is all coming back full circle, and now we're getting paid far more than what the box would offer, and we're now expected to play on these sound systems, elevated and perform. And I would say, I would call 2 basses, 2 guitars, 2 drummers, because Bennett might get booked for a show. He can't commit a month out because he's got stuff going on. So everything had to be on the fly. So I'd have to be ready for that. You know what I mean? And through doing that with so many people, I would divvy the pay. I would divvy the pay. It came natural. That was crazy. But divvying up the pay to everyone who showed up and everything, split up the set times. It was all just, it was crazy. It'd be like 30-minute jam, DJ 30-minute jam, switching everybody up. You know what I mean? And just 3 sets, 3 completely different lineups of people one night, plus 2 DJ sets. Throw it all in. Everyone gets a little pay, etc. And then managing that, I learned who's reliable and who will show up. And now I can dim it down. So I've recently started, I don't need 10 people. I just call my 4 guys, 5 guys, and now they can get double the pay. And we're moving on up. So it's kind of structured like that.
Okay.
So that's to touch on his point. So now he kind of understands why this gig we just played compared to last, there was half the people there, because I understand what we're working with now.
Okay.
So it's cool. So I can elevate us, you know.
And certain shows will still have that aspect.
Sure. If I want a special show, we'll bring tons of people and we'll do
Yeah.
that, but it's cool to just know everything and have a big
Just because that's how you are. Like you know, we are like Ben and Friends. It was like that festival vibe. But,
Absolutely.
You know, hey, we're here tonight, so we're just gonna give you the
everything. Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna give you the Chicho's version. We're gonna give you
right
the Murphy's version.
Well, and that also comes with the fact that you guys are all like, at least everyone involved, they're like seasoned musicians, like, and they can feel the room and they know exactly what they need to do, and that takes experience to get to that point. So it's pretty cool you're able to do that with your group that you have.
Absolutely. Yeah, the box was like the testing ground, you know. I would always say that, and we'd have people, you want to try it? I want to jam. All right, come to the box.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to come back open. Who knows? Maybe there'll be a new testing ground open again. They're trying to get a new sound system and everything, so might be a new spot. Yeah.
About time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so that's cool to look
the
out
box?
for. Yeah, they're talking about that too. So they might not going to do an everyday week thing, I don't think, there anymore, but you know, still go in there and have some fun.
It's like it's weird because my dad's a musician and I grew up.
They'd have to be blowing like fans the whole time.
No, they're renovating. They're doing good. I think that I've heard good things coming. We'll
I'm
see.
just saying, like, you know, because of, you know, sicknesses.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
keep that place,
it's true.
the air flowing.
My nerves,
It's on its way.
My nerves get to me. I'm like, I feel like I should be here, but I can't wait for that to be over as well for Ben and Friends. You know,
On its way.
Heck
yeah.
But yeah, so like with my dad and growing up going to like his like gigs or whatever, because he played locally for like most of my childhood. We would go like just like to any restaurant or wherever, and they would like see him and call him on stage.
Yeah.
He would go and just jam with them. and I actually, when I used to work at Finn McCool's, I got called on stage to play drums with one of the bands like a couple of times, like while I worked there. And so like that's been like a thing that I've known existed, but the fact that like Ben and Friends is almost like that concept come to life.
Sure.
It's so sick.
And what also is funny is I seen Everyone Orchestra, which is Matt Butler, I believe is his name, and he's like a conductor, and he gets people from like Humphrey McGee, Turquoise, Pigeons Playing Ping Pong, a member from each, and has a jam with them, right? So I've seen Everyone Orchestra, and Thievery Corporation kind of does the same thing, but I always wanted to start a band like that, never knew how, and then this manifested itself, and it's so similar to those type of things, but it's awesome because I've always wanted to do something like that, but never started it on purpose. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
it for the love.
We work together at Guitar Center. That's obviously like how we know each other. And I remember every time you closed, every single time you closed, you'd be like, all right, I got my stuff done. I'm out, because you were so serious about, like, you got your DJ set. You got your show. You were like, all right, I'm done. I don't care. Yeah, well, I'm out. Like,
no, we cleaned up. We closed up tight before I was going. I closed it up tight. Then I said I'm going.
Ben knew how to get closed because he didn't want to be.
It was like 7:30. He was like, I'm ready to go right now. Drawers counted. It's done, dude. We're out. Like,
that sounds like him packing up for Ben and Friends.
Yeah. So I mean, like, it makes sense that it would happen. Like, it would manifest around you, because obviously you have like the energy and like the work ethic and everything to just be like, nah, that comes first.
Yeah.
That's why I said I applaud. I yelled at him. I was like, "Hey, man, I applaud you on your leadership skills, man, because not a lot of people have that, that."
Yeah, especially with like musicians.
Yeah,
like, musicians are a bit different breed. To try to get an organization from a bunch of really good musicians,
even a band, even if you have 5 core members, and it's like, we're dedicated to this, you will never get them all in the same room. No, it's so hard. No.
Dude, my band has been in the same spot maybe like 3 times since everything shut down.
It's because everybody's doing this. We don't want to step on each other's toes.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
We're doing this dance. I'm like, hey, if y'all don't, we won't stop. Sorry.
I mean, it's kind of even like that just at band practice. Like, when in between songs, people just noodling around.
Sure, yeah.
Like, and that just goes to show that, musicians are sometimes hard to tame. And the fact that Ben can do that just means that there's something in you.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's funny. Like,
told you, bro.
Captivating.
Told you.
Yeah.
Told you.
I mean, it's part of the gathering everybody together, but it's also like you were just said, you get the people at the show or at practice, and everybody's noodling around making noise.
Yeah,
that like Ben and Friends lets them do that organized.
Well, I was just about to say, we don't practice, and that might be part of why it's so fun. It's not like we're talking there at the shows. Like, we practice, like maybe 1 or 2 or 3 of us go make beats at a time, but like there's never 10, 15 of us sitting somewhere. Yeah. Jamming, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So when it comes to the show, it's like, there it is. It's the fun time, you know what I mean? There is no other time. So I think maybe that kind of helps with just relationships, like between us all. It's just fun, we're there for fun. And that's really how it is, I try not to put too much work on anybody, you know what I mean? Just make it fun.
Yeah. And that's how you figure out, like, okay, you can come back later. Because sometimes you have like the guys, like certain shows, they'll come up, hey, I'm a rapper. I want to come, I want to, spit some bars. And we're like, okay, that's cool, but it's not really our vibe, or, I don't know what our vibe is, but at the same time,
good musicians.
Yeah, really, just like get it all out, man. Just lay it out there. I'll tell people, like, it was crazy. Kyle from Last Fair Deal, like, just came and was just shredding on the guitar, and he was like, is that all right? And I was like, man, just let it loose, man. That's what amazing. This is about. What it is. Like, taking it to that next level, and really not worrying about, like, if there's a chop that you're not sure if you can hit, but oh man, if I hit it, it's like an X Games trick. When you see these guys pushing the limit to do a 900, that's what we're doing up there. Yeah. And I say, if they say, oh, should I hold back? I say, no, push your limit and try to hit your 1080.
You got to say that to Panda.
Yeah, I've said it to him.
I've never in a live setting seen him like play as Panda. He's in the pocket and he's perfect, but it's like, nah, you can do so much more than that.
I've seen him. I turn around and Panda's spinning the things on his fingers, going, oh my God, this is amazing. Look at me. This is so fun. Flipping his thing up. Bam, bam, bam. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. I know Panda's got it.
I've never seen it, man.
Oh, it was awesome to see that. Panda's got that.
I see it at Guitar Center, obviously, because he plays all the time.
He just practices like nonsense.
I have never, like on a video, on an album,
I should have filmed him.
I wish, man.
You'll see it.
I can't wait.
It'll happen.
For everything.
I think he might even play a show. Like, we have some shows that haven't been released yet coming up, about to be announced. But
oh hell yeah,
trying to get him in one before he gets on out of here.
Yeah, true. Yeah. We got that news. Casey, you said you've had the pleasure of actually seeing a Ben and Friends show.
Yeah.
And you mentioned in the Panda podcast, Panda and Quan. I don't want to, kind of mess with Kwame like that. We love you, Quan. But Panda, you mentioned to him that you don't know like what you would do if you got called on to like play.
Yeah, so when I was there, I had the thought because Panda kept coming and talking to me and being like,
get up there.
And I was like, man, what if? But I was like, could I do it? And it led me to practice in that mindset. I have practiced so many times, like obviously by myself, but like with the idea of like, I'm just going to play, I'm going to do for like 10, 15 minutes and kind of have it feel like a song. Yeah. And that has been some of the most fun practicing I've done. But
Right.
I was like, I'm prepared to, I'll do it. I'll get up there and I'll just see what happens.
Yeah, you should totally.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would. But like, it was after Panda was going, I was like, look,
That's a tough act
because
to
that's
follow
the thing.
up.
If you're, even if I have my drummers that are getting paid and set, if you're saying like you're interested, you'll come and my drummer, I'll ask him, but I'm sure he wouldn't mind, and you can just sit in for a jam. You see, like you might not get paid that time, but that's your time to, let's see what you got. Let's have a jam.
Yeah.
Like, we'll get you a beer and then come on up and let's see. You know what I mean?
Right.
And,
Hell yeah.
And it's not just anybody, but see, I know you have the background. You know what I mean? So that's why I would give you that opportunity. I don't just give it to, like, if some stranger just told me, I'd be like, I'd have to, maybe see him drum somewhere, a video or something before I just let him up there.
For sure.
But and then like you said, that practice, absolutely, that's going to help because that's just helping you as a drummer. And then, but the beauty you'll see is once you're looking around at each other and then you're hitting your beat and then that hits somebody to do something and then he hits you back with it, which makes you, and then the elevation starts.
And you have that build and it's like, oh, I know what's coming. I know we're about
and then the
to
crowd
explode.
too. The crowd too is a big part as well. And then everyone's just in this thing.
It's crazy. You feel the energy. It's, you mentioned a second ago, and you almost told us before the podcast, but I made you not. What happened with your leg?
Oh, leg is broken. It was
like
on
how
the healing
broken?
side. Healing side now. It was centimeters away from surgery, but
Ooh.
didn't need to get surgery. Had to keep complete weight off of it 100% for 6 weeks. And now I'm in the rehab process of getting it back to strength. And then I'll be back to work. You know what I mean? But just got to be able to carry the weight and everything.
You're rubbing my leg.
I know. I start rubbing my knee right now, just like massaging it. I'm trying to get it back fully. I mean, we're close. We're close.
That's
here.
good.
A couple weeks away at maximum. I was in Vermont. I was snowboarding. I was honestly having the best 2 riding days of my life.
You asked me to go out good. I would be right there with you. Probably.
I'm experienced.
I'll be on top of you.
I'm experienced.
Oh, okay,
but,
nice.
So I'm not new to this, but I was just, riding this one area. It's in the trees. It's between the runs, the designated groomer runs, between those. And I've been in this area for 3 hours or so, hitting 5 to 15 foot drops, little jumps, catching the air like that, 5 to 15 feet of air. And I got down, it was close to the end of the day, and I got down to this spot that looked identical to the 15 jumps I've done previously all day in this past 3 hours. But obviously I've never been here, and it was a inexperienced move, but this could have happened 20 times over earlier today. So here I am just heading towards what I think is the same thing. And I get full speed because I'm comfortable. And the second I am going over the edge of the jump I'm ready to hit, which is just like in the middle, it's not a real jump. It's just a lip. And then I look down and it's just rocks. 25 feet of rocks, just vertical drop. What? I mean, it's not rocks where I'm landing, but it's just, I've just now jumped off a 25-foot rock. And I'm still going up. Yeah, I'm still going up. And now I'm looking down going like, oh, snap. Like, I hope it's soft. I hope it's soft. I'm not heading towards any trees. I'm in the treetops, but I'm not heading towards one. And I'm saying, please be soft. And I land and it's not steep enough. It's very flat. But I'm not going to put my arms or anything down because they'll just get completely obliterated. So I just land it. You know what I mean? I put my feet down the best I can, land it, and then sit down as quickly as I can. But my knee jammed, and the bottom of my, femur slammed into the top of my tibia and cracked it. So I got a tibial plateau fracture, and it mildly displaced. So it moved like a centimeter. Had it moved 2 centimeters or 3, then you have to get like a plate on your kneecap and 2 screws. But luckily, I didn't have that happen, and I had to just keep the weight off of it and just sit my ass down.
I'll say if it was surgery,
unbreakable.
If it was surgery, what would the recovery be?
Probably much longer. You know what I mean? Much longer. 6 to 12 months.
Oh,
you know what
goodness.
I mean? But no surgery is I'm almost done. I'm almost healed. I got a couple weeks. I'm going to be walking, no crutches, carrying weight through my therapy and done. But is very, very lucky in very many ways. And the lesson is, it's like, I'm a snowboarder. I should have known, but like I said, it looked identical to what I'd done all day. nonetheless, lesson learned, you can always hike 25, 50 yards back up, take your snowboard down, look at something.
Right.
And then just take 20, 30 minutes and hike back up.
Only listen
and then
to
hit it again.
While snowboarding.
Yeah.
I don't listen to any dubstep while I'm snowboarding, but
Yeah, I mean, hindsight's
it's a hard lesson learned, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But at least my leg, I can still walk. It didn't get ripped. You know what I mean? I didn't tear my ACL, meniscus, nothing. So it was amazing that only this has happened. But it did take me out pretty good.
Yeah.
We're thankful for that, for sure.
And these guys helped me. I had to play one gig like fresh after that, and like they had to like help carry the speakers, help carry the keyboards, and we were like, no more gigs.
You
for this time.
you supply a lot of the stuff, right? Like,
Oh yeah, everything. Light show, all my keyboards, sound system, and not only that, I'm like constantly upgrading. I have a top-notch system. You know what I mean? We sound good.
Are you running the light show too?
Yeah,
Like you
I'll
have
run it on automated mode. If once we get enough money, you know what I mean, we need a sound guy, a
There's like
light
the pirate
guy.
ship
I have
up
the
there.
I have the
The
XR18. I'm on my iPad,
on the pad, yeah.
running it like.
Oh yeah.
You know what I
Killing
mean?
it
Like it's
still.
just.
He's like,
You know,
grab-
just not
grab
making
that
enough to have
speaker,
other people
put it
doing
up.
it. If somebody wants to learn and do it for free, we'll teach them and have them do that. But there's only so many. That's when you start to find unreliability. They'll call out the day of. Then you're like, you know what I mean? So it's like you finagle your way through all
You
that.
can automate a lot of that.
Oh, I have that all automated. I'm just saying it would be nice to have somebody, you know, doing it with
Especially
the
if
show.
it's
feeling the
with
show
how
a little
random
bit
it
and
is.
seeing
How
how
cool.
yeah,
Like you can only
Exactly.
automate so much
Sound
whenever it's a song that's never been played before.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So it'd be like a whole other member of the crew.
Thing. Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm waiting to find him. I just haven't found him yet. It's
Yeah.
hard to find somebody that can commit a little time, but we are on our way. You know, we're trying to get enough to pay that guy. I think right now I actually probably could pay him not, hundreds of dollars, but $50.
make that
Something.
Facebook post.
Something.
Thank you for your services type of thing. Just
Yeah,
nice,
get
nice and
you
easy.
started, get you some experience on your way to becoming a sound guy or a light
Free
guy.
beer and $50.
Yeah, something like that. I
There we
definitely
go.
could probably do something like that right now. But
So if you're listening to this and you're looking for, sound
something
light gig,
get your way in. Yeah.
BenandFriends at gmail.com.
Exactly.
DJ Ben Egan at gmail.com.
There we go.
Yeah, exactly. Now we'll have all your handles and stuff, on the
Nice.
show notes, and then it's also as
think I
well
have
in the video portion. So they'll be able to
Awesome.
get a hold of y'all.
Nice.
So I was going back to like just the way that Ben and Friends is structured, like the fact that it's unstructured is what makes it unique. Casey and I, like we've grown up in the rock and metal scene, and it's the exact opposite. Everything is so pre-planned. There is a writing process, which normally, I get for me, it only consists of a couple people, then they bring it to the rest of the band. There's not really much jamming. I think like jamming is is a lost art sometimes because the fact that it's so easy to make music at home on your computer.
Oh yeah.
So how was it just bringing that aspect back?
Well, it's funny. I'm also in another band called Snickle Fritz, and that's how it is. Like they write the music, and then we bring it together and
Snookle Fritz.
repeat it, perform the same thing over and over, and that's awesome. Because then you can really pull the sounds out of it. It was cool doing that with them, but then with the jam thing, it's just, pulling the art back. It's just fun. It makes the musicians feel like they're playing. They're not playing music, but they're playing with like toys. Like they're just having fun.
It's almost like a kid in the candy store type thing.
Yeah. It's not like, I have to remember this part. It's just, like you said, just kind of pushing your limit and having fun. Just blurting out what you like.
Yeah. Well, we're always
Could be any genre.
We're always when we're practicing. Then when you perform, you're always performing what you practice. So that's why I always encourage people like, hey, practice, because then once you're ready for that
You have a little
time, that preparation, you're like, all
You
right,
have
I'm
a couple
ready.
chops. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
you can
somebody
be the
you
first
never
one to
know,
start the chop.
Somebody could be out there in the scene like, hey, I like what you guys are doing. Like,
Yeah.
let's make this more. Bless you, brother. Let's make this jam more compact and something real. So, but anyway, like we like this, even just to go to places and just, hey, y'all ready? You ready to do this? Right now in our lives, because we each have our own entities as well.
Yeah.
So it's cool to bring it together, as friends in this Ben and Friends extravaganza.
And I will also say, we are trying to eventually have actual songs.
Yeah. But didn't you guys finish a song recently or something like that?
So that one. So now it's that one we made
This
last
is the
February.
other side of the part of Ben and
if not
Friends.
farther than that ago.
Okay.
So that's when I started I have a studio at my house, so I'll have my friends come over after shows and stuff, and then we'll record jams and just have fun there and make beats. So that was one that we made all the way back in February. I have stockpiled maybe 100, if not more,
Jeez,
since
just
then.
sessions.
And I'm going to go back through. Well, they're beats. Some are sessions, some are jams. They're all different. Some are rappers, songs, whatever. But I'm going to start releasing those from all the way back. And I still have new stuff too. Maybe if something I want to release from new, I can. But like, yeah, we have lots
like
of recordings.
you see us playing shows, but it's like triple that as much times we're together in the studio working.
Yeah.
As been friends. Like, oh, Nate's coming over. Oh, BJ's coming over. Oh, okay.
Gabe's coming over.
Yeah, Gabe's coming to so
Carter, whoever.
You know,
like that's a regular thing. Every weekend we're in my studio. We just don't put out a lot of stuff because it's just
we're still
learning, figuring it all out.
You know.
But yeah, we plan to have designated songs, and yeah, there is that one on iTunes School. That was me during pandemic figuring out how to get all that out on my own completely. Connecting him, getting it on iTunes, Spotify, registering the beats through BMI. I did it all by myself. I know you can. It was hard for me. I've been trying to think about how to do that for years, but finally did it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So now I can do this more.
It's awesome. That's one thing that like pandemic, I feel like is beneficial is like you're stuck at home for so long. There weren't shows to play. You had to like figure out something else.
Elevate. How could I take it? And that was it. Learn how to do that kind of thing.
I agree.
And the record in the studio and learn how to publish.
It's kind of what happened here too. Like,
heck
this is kind of a product of
absolutely
quarantine. It's an idea that I learned Ethan and I have had in our heads for a long time. I've talked to Fabian about doing a podcast for years, but we've never had a concept. And then it just kind of was like, we were at Red Robin. And he was like, yeah, a podcast would be cool. And I was like, why are we talking about it? Like, let's just do it. And now we're doing it. So
nice.
It's quarantine helped with that.
Heck
it's awesome. The Quarantine Baby Podcast.
But basically, yeah. And I mean, we're not the only one, obviously. There's a crap ton of podcasts that popped up. I remember when I try at the beginning of quarantine, I gave myself a couple gifts. I had bought myself a TD-17 electric drum kit so I can jam at home.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I also bought a SM7B so I can use that for whatever. I only use it really to do some like small like voiceovers.
Podcast mic.
But it took 3 months for that thing to come in because it was on back order. I waited like a month too long to actually order it, and then it took forever to come in. I was a little upset.
Yeah, you got to order that American Musical, boy.
And I'll say,
got mine in 2 days.
Thinking about like when you approached me too, you know what I mean? Because I was like, all right, let's check it out, and I was impressed just by what I seen, the way you approached the professionalism of all of it. So it's like, I don't feel like I'm just doing this because I'm your friends, and I don't feel like you hit me up just because I'm your friends. I feel like we both actually look at each other legitimately.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean,
that's how I feel.
100%. Yeah, thank you.
And I feel like I'm here because I'm your friend.
Yeah.
You're their friend, which now I'm everybody's friend.
Right. No, I'm looking at it more from a professional standpoint. I like what you're doing.
Yeah, we're just trying to
This is awesome.
We're just trying to just be something for this area.
It's just I like it.
Just give people a chance to talk.
Nothing but success.
Because sometimes you just got to talk to someone or have someone listen to be like, oh, this dude's down to earth. He knows what he's doing.
Let's go check it out.
Yeah, check it out.
New follower. I'm gonna be a new follower.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's like
even subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe and all that stuff if you can. Everyone
we don't talk about that enough. We probably should.
I'm gonna start doing that. Yeah,
especially because you guys are here. This is Virginia Beach. This is our little heartbeat. There's not too many of these. I feel like.
Yeah, me and Casey are in agreement that we feel like Virginia Beach, especially when stuff opens back up, is really going to be on the come up.
Yeah,
where something in the water is a big part of that.
Something in the water, which unfortunately got Nancy got canceled again this year, but.
You guys be live on set. Watch.
Dude, that'd be awesome. That's literally like a goal.
Well,
maybe get some of the artists
too. You know what I mean? That are already seeing this, asking me about this. I'm sure they would love to get in here too. Tell you what they got going on their minds, as well as at least just watch and see what who you come across.
Right.
If not do it themselves.
Yeah, and it's not just musicians either. We have mostly had musicians, but we just had Darius on. He owns a nonprofit called Street United.
Nice.
It's like a youth soccer thing. Really, really cool. He's doing really great work. And we have a list of people.
Sure.
And to be a little bit more specific, you are not in there as Ben. You're in there as Ben and Friends. So 100%. It was Ben and Friends. I want to give you guys a platform. But
exactly.
We have like business owners and entrepreneurs and artists, and like it's just like because there's more behind the story than like an interview is cool. We could ask like, oh, you have a new album coming out, or like whatever. Give 5 questions in 15 minutes. But it's like, no, I want to, if you have substance behind it, if you have more to talk about, let's do it. Let's talk about it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's all about the friends, man. I say it on stage all the time. I wouldn't be anywhere without these guys, and I'm not even really anywhere. When I moved to VB, all I wanted was a venue that I could do what I wanted, have my friends come to, enjoy themselves. We play some music, and we make a little money. You know what I mean? Like now that's elevated, so it's just No matter what happens, it's cool.
No, it's
But
cool.
It's all because of my friends.
You're able to accomplish exactly that and then build off of it. So that's really cool right there.
I have a really good segue.
And what's that?
Okay.
So speaking of friends, we actually have a viewer submitted question
What?
for you guys. So a first on the podcast, if we can go ahead and get that queued up here on the screen, we should be able to hear it.
Hey Ben, hey EJ, my name's Panda. Big fan of Ben and Friends. Think that drummer with the leopard print kit.
Oh my God.
Sexy. Anyways, I have a question for you. So, what's the weirdest thing that's happened to you while you're on stage? Because for me, one day when I was DJing, I was opening up for an EDM artist who shall remain nameless. They're a duo, and I was playing in Richmond, and my phone got lodged in a sex doll. It was returned to me after the show. Broken. So yeah, great fan of the podcast. Love the LOWBAT boys. Love to hear your thoughts on this.
That's hilarious.
God damn.
Man.
His name was Panda.
That's Panda.
Panda Hammond, I believe it was.
Yeah, that's weak.
Yeah, with the leopard print.
Well, since it sounds like he pulled his from a non-Ben and Friend show, I'm gonna pull mine from a non-Ben and Friend show. It was DJing with Rhett at a Blueberry Jam festival, and we started at like 3 a.m. after the last band played, and played till like 5:30 or something like that. And Harrison, who's one of our friends, in fact, yeah, this is crazy because like Ben and Friends was like doing it even back then without like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's crazy to even think about. But yeah, Harrison, we were gonna have him just play a little bass while I DJ'd, and then Rhett drum, but it actually never happened because Harrison fell asleep in his van with it on. We're outside, obviously, behind the stage, like 5 feet from where we were, and we didn't know where he was. So we were just like, I guess Harrison doesn't want to play. So he's asleep behind us 5 feet in the van, and we're jamming.
That's awesome.
It's 4 a.m. or so. And then Rhett's playing the drums, which is Sam, and everyone is just having a blast. And then all of a sudden, I just hear like, and I'm looking to my right, and hot air balloons are just filling up, and like the sun's up because we were in this tent. You couldn't tell what time it was. It's like all of a sudden it's like 5:30 a.m. Hot air balloons are just flying up, and then Harrison walks out like, he's like, oh snap. He's like, it's over. I missed the show. And I'm just like, yeah, like we're done. Hot air balloons are going up. Like, I don't know what's going on anymore. I guess it's time to go to sleep. Like, it was crazy. That was super weird.
That's
But,
crazy.
I think that might be the weirdest like stage thing. And then I just ended up falling asleep on the stage while they were, because actually Harrison was fully set up. His bass was out. His whole station was set up, and then he was asleep over there. But then, then I fell asleep on the stage after all the hot air balloons were going up, and we're just like, I guess we probably are done now. And then I laid down. Rhett was packing up his drum set and everything. I fell asleep on the stage, and they're like, all right, you should probably like wake up. Like an hour later, we're all packed up. Like your stuff's still there. I was like, I guess it's time to go. So that was kind of a weird
They were
one.
like, leave him be. He's had a long night.
They gave me an hour though on the stage.
Where was this?
Blueberry Jam, which was a festival in, I believe, Surrey, Virginia. Like this is probably like 4 years ago now or so.
Heck yeah.
But
Man.
and that's what's funny. So that's funny because Ben and Friends was like almost about to start, but then Harrison fell asleep, so it never actually happened. And then the boxes it turned back around and started itself again. That's hilarious. That was me trying to start the band that was like Everyone Orchestra, and I just couldn't get it going.
Sleep is too important.
Yeah, no, I wasn't mad though. I'm not mad at him. Can't blame him. You fall asleep.
It happens.
Do what you're doing.
Man, a weird
No
one for me
problem.
was I had my old band. I used to be in a band called Cheap Thrills, which that's how kind of we've been playing around a lot of places. That's how we know Ben.
I've heard of that
You
band.
know,
Yeah.
We're like, we just when you're in the scene, you don't see a lot of friends. Or
But you see flyers and you see stuff where you know
exactly.
that they're around, they're doing their thing.
Yeah, or you'll hear them for a second, like you're like, all right, I got a quick break, so I'm gonna go around the corner and
Oh yeah.
Yeah, take a look. Right?
So you don't say hi, but you can you can hear a little bit of it. Sorry, you hear a little bit of it, but so one weird one for me was we were playing at Davidson College in North Carolina, and we're like we're playing, and then a bunch of college kids are dancing, we're having a good time, and then we look to our left, and Stephen Curry from the Golden State Warriors.
What?
He's dancing on the stage with us. He's like jumping. He's like, "This is awesome." Like, oh, okay, cool. We're just partying. We're partying. Then later, he's like, "Hey, I want you guys to play for my wedding." So we're just like,
Nah.
oh, okay, cool. Like, so
Damn.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
What?
you never know. I'm like, keep the party going.
That's
like,
not
you
even
know.
weird. That's just dope.
That's just
Flat
but
out
like,
dope.
yeah,
No, but
that is
that's
pretty-
weird though. I'm like, oh, but this is kind of crazy. Like,
of all people in a random college in North Carolina.
For sure.
That's
yeah,
weird.
exactly.
Did he explain why he was there? Like, why was he there?
He went to Davidson. He went there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he was just there, like, I guess there was an event there, and he happened to be there.
There's alumni to come through. That's crazy though.
Yeah,
That's
he
crazy to think about.
he actually like last year just finished up like finished his degree up, but anyway, he was there. He happened to be there.
See, now you got me thinking of another one now.
So you're not gonna top me.
I got one more. No, not like that.
I'm not trying.
Can I go one more?
Yeah.
All right,
go ahead.
one more. Since he did one while he was DJing, I was DJing one time at a frat or a sorority party, and all these bigger girls got up on the tables right in front of where I was DJing, all up right about here. Like I'm DJing, they're right here, and she slipped and just fell on my DJ board, and I had to catch her. Like 2 of her friends fell, and they were just like, all in this DJ mess of falling women and gear. And I was just like, I just helped them up. Nothing got broke.
How was the gear? That's miraculous.
Somehow
the
the
song
gear
keep
was
playing too?
miraculous.
Like everything kept going?
The track kept playing and everything. Like I think it was like skirt. Like it made a little skirt noise, but then like it kept going. But like that was weird. But I don't know if that's pretty weird, right?
That's
like,
pretty weird.
I guess it would be epic or weird. I don't know.
That's
but
like
was weird.
like the concept of when you get in a car accident and like if you get like knocked out or whatever, but the music is still playing. It's just like this thing happens, but it's just like there's still a song just playing in the background.
And they played it off. They got right back up. It was like nothing happened.
Nothing
but it
happened.
was
Yeah, they
just
get back
like, I had to
dancing.
catch a couple of girls and get them back up there.
I said play Rihanna.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Casey, do you have like a single moment picked out?
I don't.
You don't?
Do you?
I do. I have one.
Okay, I'll think about it while you do.
Give me a chance. This was actually one of the biggest singular shows that my band had played. It was a headliner at Canal Club. It was our album release or EP release
guitar?
tour. I played drums.
Drums, nice.
So, which is important.
Most important.
But like more so for this story. So it was a EP release show in Richmond, which is like our second hometown. It was on a little 5-day run just to kind of promote the EP. We had everything. We had a big show set up. We had like our lights all up there and everything like that, and we had a lot of production going. We play along to backing tracks for some samples and things like that. So
That's great.
I control that with my laptop, which is back behind me while I'm playing. Got click and everything going. But we had sound checked early in the day, which is not normal. Usually we just do a line check before we get on and play. But since we were headlining, we got the check before everyone else and relaxed the rest of the day, which was dope. That was awesome. But we went to start our set and something happened with my laptop where like a channel just wasn't in the right spot going out, and the click in my ear was so loud that I couldn't hear anything else. And I couldn't tell that was because maybe it was going out to the crowd. So we were like 30 seconds into the first song, and I'm like so uncomfortable. I literally had to stop drumming for like a good 7 to 10 seconds to fix that.
Yeah.
And like the promoter was like at the side of the stage, like thinking that something was wrong, like that something had fallen or something like that.
But it was coming out of the front?
I don't know. It wasn't. Nothing. There was nothing wrong. It was just so bad in my ears.
Of course,
And I literally stopped playing for 10 seconds in the first song of our headlining set at home. The rest of the show was sick, but those 10 seconds felt like an hour.
Yeah, for sure. You're like, I just gotta.
That's weird.
Oh shit.
I'm glad I was able to fix it that quick though.
Yeah, that's good too.
Yeah.
So
It's always at those moments too. Sorry.
no, go for it.
It's always at those moments.
I guess our first show was kind of nuts.
I love this story.
So I'll do as quick of a version as I can because it was multiple events. We opened for a rap group. We are a metalcore band.
Awesome.
It didn't make any sense, but they specifically loved me for some reason.
That's great.
They all came up and dapped me up and were just like, "Yo, you play the drums, whatever, like you kill it, whatever." And I was like, "All right, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good." They invited me on stage to play with them. I didn't have in-ears, so they tried to play their track through the monitor. Wasn't loud enough over my drums. I got off time. It was a whole thing. So that was a nightmare. They were still cool about it, but I was like, this is the worst.
Yeah.
I was
Get
so
me
mad.
out of here.
So we finished, the show ends, and we were like, all right, it was our first show. Let's go celebrate. There's this Irish bar down the road. We go to the Irish bar. They're not even a thing anymore, so I won't be incriminating myself. But we went over there, and Yeah, everybody's drinking, everybody's having a good time. I at that time was not drinking, and I also managed to sit away from everybody. That's kind of important to the situation. They were all over there. It was like 30 people making a mess, and then it was just me. And I was like, I got chicken tenders. I was having a great time. I ordered them, and I had a Diet Coke. One of the dudes who was the vocalist of our band got really, really drunk, and he tried to sit down on the bench, sat down on the edge of the table. It was one of those tables that's supported by the center, and it went and broke the table, smashed a bunch of glasses, the whole thing. They start freaking out, the people that work there. The owner ends up showing up. They call the cops on us, and the cops come and like swarm the fucking building, and they're like not letting anybody leave. A bunch of people slipped out. Jared was there because he's in the band. He was one of the people that was just like, he just kind of faded into the night. and I'm sitting there, I was like, I have nothing to do with it.
You're eating chicken tenders. He's like,
my chicken tenders weren't there yet. Whenever the restaurant
like I
was
would've left
filled,
if they were.
it was shoulder to shoulder of cops and people and chaos. And my waitress, the best waitress in the world, walks through holding my chicken tenders above everybody's head and puts them down. I'm just like, yo, this is great. I was just like, I got a show. And then I walked up and I was about to pay, and the owner like made a big deal about it and was like, were you with them? And I was like, nah, I'm not with them. And she was like, yeah, you are. I saw you come in with them. And I was like, whatever. Anyways. And she was like, I need your ID. And I was like, I'm not giving you my ID. And she was like, it's fine. I'll get it from the card. And I was like, that's really funny because I'm paying with cash. Anyways. And I went to the waitress and I was like, hey, this is specifically for you. Fuck her and fuck this place. Like, I'm later. Thank you. I left. We got pulled over, walking outside. Like the cops pulled like up to us and got out. We're like, were you in there? And we were like, no, what are you talking about? We go back to the other vocalist's apartment. Everybody's drunk, and somebody decides to try to light a candle using a paper plate, I believe it was, from the kitchen, catching on fire in the kitchen, walking to the living room and light it. Embers hit the ground. The carpet got lit on fire. That was a whole thing.
This was your house?
No. It was another person's house. It was a whole nightmare. It was a big deal. He was freaking out, and I almost fought the dude who burnt the carpet.
Oh my goodness!
It was a whole night, and then we all.
Bet you it was Jerome.
So just a recap, he went from having one of the best nights of his life, playing his first show with his band,
to the cops getting called on us, carpet catching on fire.
Oh my god!
Oh man, the chicken tenders were great.
We got them chicken tenders.
Definitely weird.
Yeah, that was our first show too. We were like, "Yo, is this what it's like?"
This is the life right here.
This we got this to look forward to for every show.
That would be a podcast in of its own. What you ended up getting into after the show.
Yeah,
whole podcast right
Oh
there.
my goodness. Yeah,
oh wow,
that might be a recurring
Straight
question
up.
eventually.
Yeah, you might. That's a good one.
Jeez.
I could write a whole damn book
Don't-
about
Don't
that.
incriminate
Battery's
yourself
already
though.
No,
After the show, you got low battery in your phone.
It's just the book.
See, mine are that's probably the most exciting. 90% of the time, it's like I go and I decompress, and I'm just like I'm exhausted. I just play drums. I'll go like I just go home. You know, I might hang out with some people, or I might just go home. There's been like I guess like parties or whatever, but like not really. It's
Mostly I hit the studio. That's like when we we just go make beats.
That's cool because like I mean
I will party every once in a while, but
like
we
that's
mostly go
different
make
because like
beats.
most times are like for us like metal bands and shit like that. We're fucking exhausted after our shows, and like we wouldn't have the energy to like go to the studio afterwards. We're like, damn, we're just
I'm
trying
going
shows
to
are
tell
such
you,
a nightmare.
you're going to have to either get your mind super motivated and be like, I have to just fight the tiredness because if I want my dreams to come true, the dreams aren't going to pay the bills right at first. So you have to pay those and then make your dream come true. And that's going to require staying up late or you're going to have to, drink a coffee or do whatever you're going to do to stimulate your mind and stay up a couple extra hours to, whatever you got to do. Take energy shot. They got all sorts of those things and stay up that a couple extra hours. Just do it. That'll be beneficial to anything you do in your life,
Yeah,
definitely. I mean, and sometimes like after like really, really fucking good shows, like that's when you do feel your most inspired because
When
maybe
they wanna
you
party,
killed
they'll
it.
Celebrate.
Yeah, maybe you killed it. Maybe who you were with, they killed it. Whoever you opened for, or whatever. Like how many times, Casey, have we like left Warped Tour and been like, man, that was such a great experience. I want to do that.
Oh yeah,
And you
Warped Tour is always the bar. It's not even a thing anymore. But like I always looked at that as like that's my goal. That's where I'm gonna get.
Yeah. That's
I remember like after Elevation, we were all hype, and then we made a couple of dope ones.
even if it takes an hour or two, try it. Then you have content, and
Yeah, I mean, I'm always big on like after our set because like if we're opening for like a headliner or whatever, so we're playing like third or whatever. There's like 3 other bands after us. sometimes like people, not naming any names, but some people in the band will decide to be like, all right, I'm going to go home and go to sleep. And I was like, I'm going to stick around because I don't know what's going to happen. And we've like had some of the best experiences either with people that like the band or other musicians. Like we're opening a bigger band.
Oh yeah.
And then they actually come like, a couple hours later and they're like, yo, I watched your set, and like you get a conversation with them. Like those moments mean so much.
Oh yeah.
So and then you never know what kind of conversations you're going to get into, what you might get invited to, just
Absolutely.
what craziness you might see.
You're making me think of story after story after story, man. Straight up.
Oh yeah. That's why with something like Ben and Friends, that's helped doing that. It's like sticking around and having that conversation like, hey, what's up, man? I seen you were here tonight. Thanks for coming out. You want to come and hang out? You want to do it next week with us?
I mean, that's how you said it all started. It was just...
Oh, yeah. People showing up to just have a good time.
With Bennett, yeah. You were just like, yeah, dude,
them.
you're here. Do you want to just
do you
hang out?
You don't have to. No, you don't.
I was there. I was
like,
there to infiltrate. I'm sorry.
I did.
I like that.
I see what you got going here.
I did want to ask, and this is actually a question for Fabian too, because I don't think I know this answer. So I want to like word it in a specific way, I guess. So if you had to attribute one person, one artist, one experience, one anything to what led you to actually be like, you know what, I'm going to pursue music. And this could be like as a kid and you bought your first keyboard, your first whatever. What was the thing that like you would say triggered? I'll start with Ben. We'll go to EJ and then we'll go to.
Cool. For me, it was quite simple. My mom's a musician, sacred musician, actually. I'm adopted, so it's not in my blood, but she's like an organist, whatever. So there's pianos and instruments of every kind in my house from when I was a baby growing up. So those were my toys. Those were literally my toys. That's it. Simple as that. We played. I jammed. It's funny to think about, but I jammed with my youngest friends that I can remember on the piano with our little tape recorders, his guitar, our recorders, whatever. And we recorded and literally jammed and made songs on our tape recorders as fun.
Wow.
And then that turned into... I went to college. I tried to figure out what do I want to do? What do I want to study? And I couldn't bring myself to studying anything but music. So I studied interdisciplinary studies, music, business, and production. And at that point, I'll hit you with this. I was kind of annoyed because first 2 years of school, first year, they're now giving me every kind of rule you could ever imagine for music. And I'm used to it being my toy just for fun. And I pissed off. I almost didn't like music. I was mad. But then I realized I can always go and make this after a few years, of fighting through that feeling of this not necessarily being so fun and trying to find the difference between work and play. I realized I can go back and play any way I want, just make crazy sounds if I want and have fun. But now that I know these rules, that's what makes it readable to the normal person when you put it into the structure of real music and understand the theory and keep things, in the same key and, modulate and all these kind of things. That's when you make it readable to people, So I eventually ended up liking it, and then now here I am today out of college, just making a music career best I can, working at Guitar Center, selling this stuff by day and then using it by night. So that's kind of where I'm at.
That's a good way of explaining that.
Yeah, definitely.
I would attribute Guitar Center the same way for me. I didn't know much about music, or I knew about gear, especially.
Yeah.
And just working at Guitar Center, and I learned why this is better and more expensive.
Oh yeah.
And just learned all that stuff. Panda was a big helping hand in that, and it's
oh yeah, Guitar Center's taught me quite a bit.
It matters so much without but you got to find the way to have it not destroy your creativity.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That was the schooling.
That's the technical.
At first
side.
it did. It just made me you know what I mean? Having these rules now, it made my play go away at first.
Yeah.
And it was very frustrating. But then all of a sudden,
freestyle way of
I figured out I could still play, I can still jam, but if you stay in acceptable rules, everyone understands it, and then it's like music. It's not just you playing some crazy whatever.
Really,
that sounds cool.
really
it's actually scientifically music.
Yeah, it's refining what you already wanted to do, but kind of
you can tone it in,
Yeah.
And I'm still learning how to do it. I'm not perfect. Clearly, I'm not famous or I'm not making it, I'm not selling hit records, becoming a millionaire or whatever. But I'm just trying to make cool tracks that people like to listen to, and that's all I can really say for right now. But it's fun.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Me.
Go ahead.
Man, me. It's. I can from the first moment of watching the Goofy movie and seeing that.
Where is this going?
That guy sing,
what's his name?
It was Tevin Campbell who's the voice who
Yeah.
sings for it, and that's because I look up who's really singing that part, You know, like, I did that even with like Lion King songs. I was like, who's really singing those Lion King? That's not Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Like, and I love those. Like, I was like, I love that tone. Like, you know, so I was like, for me, it was growing up watching, you know, shows like, oh man, I like even to cartoons, and then Reset Button, you know, church, you know, like growing up in the church, you know, singing for church, and then having people and members in the church. Like my church, we had this band called May, and then like they were like kind of like a pretty famous band,
like the rock group May.
Yeah, May. Yeah.
Dude, they're awesome.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Jacob
Marshall.
MAE.
Yeah, okay. I forgot. I have heard of them. Go ahead. Sorry. I was like, that sounds familiar, but
I felt like each stage of life, like you get like a little reset button. So you're like, you're doing life, and then each stage you get like a reset button, and you kind of accelerate each time. So like I've had that feeling like, you know, for May, that's when I was like, all right, this is really like, and I love rock music. Like John Mayer is my favorite artist and stuff like that, because I'm like, I love guitars. So I was like, you know, playing in front of churches and stuff like that, you know, and because my parents were Christians, so, you know, and I'm a Christian as well, but, you know, you know, I don't know how to explain it, but, you know, musically, I'm like, you know, I need to, you know, veer off into different venues, but, you know, that's how I feel like it's been, you know, just been fed to me all my life has been like in the church, like I was adopted into a family, so a way for us to give back and say thanks, you know, to like places who helped us out, churches and stuff like that would like donate to our family and stuff like that. We would sing for them. My mom would come up and she would orchestrate dances for us. She was like, all right, y'all, put on these jeans and this shirt and do these dances. And I was like, you know,
I tell them the same thing. I was like, man, we need to get you dancing. I just told you the same damn thing. I'll stop telling you that now. I said, we need to get you doing the dance moves up there, man.
Yeah, once we have that stage, you know, there's not enough stage room right now.
That's true.
As we're trying to figure this out, we're like on top of each other, like, you know.
True.
That's a good excuse.
That's true.
Yeah, no, I promise you, I'm not gonna go
elevation. We'll get you dancing.
Hey, I promise you, I'm dancing.
I know. I see. He's nice.
But yeah,
there's plenty of stage room elevation.
Oh yeah, we just did a little elevation show, like I said, like with Ben and Friends. This, you know, it helps to you know, for us each members to keep, you know, expanding, but also for, you know, to bring it back to Ben and Friends, you know, when we need to and when we have to, because I feel like, you know, keeping the main thing is good, you know, and also having your, you know, your little other aspirations and goals that you're tackling.
Yeah,
Cool
I
deal.
mean, maybe if we're lucky, because LOWBAT not only podcast but film production, there's a lot behind that too. We might be able to capture those dance moves for the first time. Put some cameras out there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that'd be amazing.
I can work with that. So like,
I am giving my all from now on.
you never know when the cameras are
You're
watching.
always on
Yeah,
camera.
exactly. Yeah, or who's watching it? Like, oh, okay, see. That's what Ben taught me, by the way. You know, thank you, Ben.
Oh yeah.
Give it.
I can tell that story, but I don't know if you want me to hold that one. That might be a secret story you got to get to know me about.
Ooh, we'll have to get you back on.
Whoa.
Sure.
I don't know. I could drop it, but we can save it. It's up to you guys.
I mean,
But it basically comes down to every time do it, give it your all. That's the moral of the story.
I like
Give it your all.
we got to the punchline without the
No
rest
story.
of it.
Didn't need the story. Yeah, right to it. Yeah, it could be a long story. I mean, you might like it. I mean, I'll get
Go for it. We got time.
All right. I didn't know if we were running low.
Nah.
All right. So my dad posted this video to me, and I tell it to as many friends as I can. So hopefully there's lots of friends out there listening. It was Jerry Garcia from the Grateful Dead, and he was about to play one of his biggest shows with the Grateful Dead in this super duper 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 nice opera house, like nicer than any place they've ever played before. So he was like on his game, practicing backstage, trying to be super, you know, legit. Wasn't drinking, wasn't smoking, wasn't doing nothing. And then they're about to take the stage, and he had been in the back room, and like, you know, the Grateful Dead, they eat acid. They eat drugs, you know what I'm saying? And he was not doing any of that because he was trying to get to this party. And the band runs up and they're like, yo, did you eat the cake in the break room? And that was the only thing that he ate was the cake. And then they said, we just put 200 hits of acid in there. You ate the cake, right? And he's like, he was trying to, you know, be sober. And now he ate the cake. And he's about to take the stage, and he feels it. He's feeling it. And all he can think of in his head is, if he does not play the absolute best shredding of his life, this crowd is about to kill him. Literally, he like believed it. He believed the crowd would kill him. And so he played his living ass off. And after he was done, everyone came up and was like, holy crap, that was the most amazing thing, blah, blah, blah. It was like the best show he'd ever played, right? And then from that point forward, he remembered to himself, it's like, play like your life depends on it. And what I took from that was, and he always did, in the sense of our life does depend on it. We want to pay the bills.
Yeah.
We want to travel and become musicians and become legit. That's our life depending on it. So play like they're going to kill you, even if there's nobody out there. If there's 2 people in the bar, I'm going to do everything I can to get that 1080. Like, you know what I'm saying? And push the boundary.
Cake.
So it's like that. I think about that all the time. I'm like, you might be having a bad day. You're not happy, whatever. And you're not, I don't really want to play the keys today. Well, then, what are you doing? You know what I mean? You have to fight through that. Play like a motherfucker's going to kill your ass if you ain't killing it. This is for your life. So that really, for whatever reason, that story connected those 2 points together so hard for me. And like, I just carry that with me, man. I'm going to play. I'm going to give it my all, from the setup to the speakers, to the lights, to how I stick on them, to when I'm on the stage.
Wow. Hell yeah.
That's crazy. That is like stuff to live by right there.
That's what I do.
No, the other one hearing that?
Oh yeah, nah. See, we right on time. That was perfect.
Well, Fabian, I want to get yours also.
I don't know. I think I'll save it for another episode. I should have asked that question some other time.
Oh, you don't have an answer?
I have an answer, but like,
Get it?
I don't know. I don't want to talk after what Ben said. That like that, I felt that in my heart.
That's why I felt it. That's why that's why like I spread that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I'm sure the story I told you, correct?
Yeah, you
exactly word for word. And that's probably what he was referencing, because that's the story.
Yeah, that's awesome. But yeah, I honestly think that's a good place to end it, because
so everybody, if you want Fabian's answer, tune in on the next episode.
yeah, we'll ask it at some point. I promise.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah. So real quick, anything you guys have coming up? Anything you want to say to everyone before we get out of this?
That's a pretty cool idea. Yeah. I guess what I'll say is, on our Facebook and stuff, we're about to drop, the shows we're about to play, a monthly residency coming up at Lunacy, which is going to be super dope. Brand new sound system, elevated from the last time. So everyone that knows about it's going to be stoked on it. And you can see those dates popping up soon, especially Chicho's going to be popping up. Elevation, you'll see all those dates. These guys, EJ's playing all over, Bennett's playing all over, Nate, Paper Aliens, Sopaz, all these guys. You gotta look on our social networks and find us, because we're out there playing, almost every day of the week. So
give me your handle.
come check us out. Oh, my handle, I don't even know. Ben and Friends. That's pretty.
Yeah.
If you type that in, we should pop up. If you type that in,
Yeah,
type that in Twitter, all that stuff, you'll find it. YouTube.
We'll be sure to put it up on the screen too. We'll have that up there.
Tight.
What about you? Anything separate? Anything with Ben and Friends? Whatever you.
Oh, I'm just trying to put out EPs, essentially, because I'm a team guy. I want to be with a team, so But until then, I want to keep working on making songs as well, just to if we can add them, or
Yeah, I mean, if you're following him too, he's always putting beats he's made up almost every day. So he's always got some original music for you
I'm
to
still
hear.
looking for the team. I want to be part.
He
of
loves the team.
Yeah,
Right.
But he's making beats too.
And I pray that that's not something that's gonna hold me back. But I'm like, if it does, then I feel like that's the destiny, because I feel like you can't do it alone. And that.
Yeah.
Whether you have 3 people doing it, or
Hey.
2.
But you're still doing it either
But
way.
yeah, you're doing your
So it's
thing.
like, yeah.
You're doing your thing, and then if you can find the right people to work with, then good things will happen. So
Yes.
just keep doing you. and-
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, whatever you feel good about. There isn't like nothing holds you back if you feel good about what you're doing.
Yeah. Exactly. I agree.
Perfect. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. This was really fun. Got a little insight on however you describe Ben and Friends, which I still don't exactly know, but
Yep.
I'll have to catch you guys on the show.
It's something that everybody needs to see. I cannot stress that enough. Go see Ben and Friends if you have the chance. Absolutely go see
The musical circus.
Musical circus.
Oh, that's
I love
there
it.
we go. That's
Yes,
good.
sir.
Musical
There we go.
circus.
I like it. Awesome, guys. Thank you, everyone, for watching and tuning in. We'll catch you guys on the next episode.
Later, guys.
Thanks, y'all.
That was awesome.
Oh man, this thing was starting to get to my ears, boy.
Oh, yeah. These aren't the most comfortable things.
We can't fill 45 minutes.
Well, I felt
hit
it
an
going.
hour.
I knew
What's
we
up?
were, but I was like, they're gonna keep it. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
all right.
That's what I was making sure, because he was like, we keep on, we were good. I was like, did anybody not hear the first one? I was making sure. I was like, no, that was the other one.
It kept going.
Okay, yeah, I didn't care. I was like,
But it worked
yeah, I
out.
should have said anything, because I was like,
It's all good. It's all good.
Damn, it's really these sunglasses that hurt me.
Because they're pushing against their side.
oh yeah.
God.
Then I thought, is that the door?
Cheap ass.
Cheap ass.
Oh, I guess those were pushing this.
Yeah.
Double push.